So it's a quick video on how to build up a couple of possessed Space Marines. So we don't have the kit, and what we want is about 20 of them. So it's going to take a little bit of meandering to do them on the cheap. I do have a lot of Space Marine torsos. I have a bunch of Space Marine legs. So we do have a few of those parts. So what we're going to do is figure out how to build possessed Space Marines or the equivalent. Something that we can use when we want to play a possessed bomb. Now the other thing we've got is a bunch of Plague Marine bodies, torsos here. So they're the ones with the mouth on them. So we've got a bunch of those kicking around. So they're going to make excellent torsos. But you can use normal Space Marine torsos as well. But we're going to do what we can here. So we've got a few of these. We're going to take a normal Space Marine backpack, or back into the torso, and we're going to glue those so they match just like so. Just like that. We want that round arm location to be flush, and then they're slightly different sized between the two of them. So we're going to shave this one down a little bit. So we'll do that now, glue them together, be back here in a moment. So now that we're finished with the torso, it flushes okay there. It does leave a gap right here, which we're going to have to fill before we finalize the model. What we're going to do now is the backpack. So we have a bunch of these Space Marine backpacks kicking around. They have a design on them which doesn't matter much. We're just going to shear that off, and we're just going to use normal Space Marine backpacks. Whatever we have, it tends to work. That can glue right on there. And we're going to need a head. Now, I find Plague Bearer heads tend to work really well because they're about the right size as a Space Marine head. So it could go just like that. And that looks about the right size. The only problem is it doesn't mount there, of course. We have this empty space in the back here. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of putty there, as well as to fill these gaps. And then what that'll do, it'll be a little bit uneven out the back here, but then the backpack will hopefully cover some of it. And we're aiming to get something that looks similar to this, which is Plague Bearer head, and then a little bit of putty inside there. Hopefully we'll try to twist the next one up a little higher, and we still have to fill the gaps. So we'll use a little bit of our epoxy putty, just the two pieces, mix them together, jam it inside the holes, and we'll be back here in a few minutes when that's all done. So we finished the epoxy on the head. We've got sort of this lumpy, wrinkled section here that's going to look like fleshy skin. And then we've curved at the bottom. We're going to drop that in there with a little bit of just normal glue. Just like so. That's going to drop right into place like that. And hopefully hold that in place. We'll use our plastic glue to do the backpack to help hide it. And then we've also done the underside here, which we'll put plastic glue in again. And we'll drop off any typical pair of Chaos legs. Like so. And then we'll glue that onto a 32 milliliter base. We'll leave that dry for a little bit. So that gets our model that looks like this. Now we have a few of these possessed arms here that we picked off a bit side. I think we've got 3 of those kicking around. So that'll glue on this arm without too much trouble there. And then we have a few of these arms which we could use in its place. that also works. But this one has the unique ability that we can just cut it right along that line, switch the piece around, and glue it as that arm there, because there really is no realistic fingers or anything like that here. Now, other options, we could use plague bearer arms, gluing that right here like so to continue our plague bearer. And while that looks a little bit weak, keep in mind that we will add a shoulder pad. And now you just have a plague possessed demon type arm. We could also use one from Bloodletters. We could use a double one from Pink Horrors. We could use Zangor heads as well as arms. So any of those will work. Or you could use a mixture of all of them, and they could be dedicated to Zeech or Khorne or any of those. So it doesn't matter which demon arms you use, but you can definitely use demon arms to fill the role. So we'll do up a couple of these, figure out where we want this to sit, and we'll be back in a minute. And here's a few of the finished models. So this one here has a plague bearer head, a normal possessed arm, as well as a bloodletter arm here. And then this one has a normal possessed arm, plague bearer head, and plague bearer arm. And then this one has a possessed arm, a bloodletter arm, and a plague bearer head. And then this one has a possessed arm, another possessed arm, plague bearer head. And then this one has a possessed arm, second possessed arm, and we did have one possessed head, so we put that there. But you can use all sorts of little bits interchangeably. You can use the possessed heads. You can use these, normal Chaos Space Marine heads with the horns coming out of them. Any of those will work. So what we're doing is aiming to make a fairly large squad of them, of 10 or 20. And then we'll paint them up in a future video and see how we make out. But I hope this helped you. I hope you found this interesting. And if you did, please leave a like on the channel. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment on the channel, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again when we come to paint these guys, or if we do something else in the meanwhile. Otherwise not, we'll see you at the next video, and you guys have a lovely day.